What's going on, everybody? Coach Kevin with Applied Speed Athletic Performance Training. I'm bringing you the first installment of the Coach's Rant. So, what I want to do with the Coach's Rant is I really want to just kind of provide content to coaches and athletes out there. I want to improve my ability to present this content and to articulate some of this content. So, me just getting up here, getting over that camera shyness that some of us have, and finding one topic or maybe a couple topics to just talk about, hopefully weekly or something like that. We'll kind of try to build this thing up a little bit. But whenever I have that, that itch to get, jump on a topic, I'm going to try to bring it out to y'all, okay? So today, my first topic is going to be athletic development training. So that's what I consider myself to be involved in. I consider myself to be an athletic development trainer. They ask me, "Oh, you're a personal trainer?" Yeah, kind of. Yes, I do work with general population. And I think everything here is going to apply to general population or your fitness enthusiasts, whatever it is, But when we're talking about athletes and why I started doing what I'm doing right now. Athletic development training is kind of particular, right? And we all know that. We might call it sports training, whatever it is, right? But whenever I started all of this off, man, I was kind of known as the track and field guy, which is a great thing. I love being the track and field guy, right? Because I love track and field. But I set out to really help all athletes, not just to help track and field athletes. Just most of my experience was there. I was really diving deep into it, trying to learn as much as I could from everybody I could. So it kind of, went that way. And then, I started picking up my, some of my little young soccer players and, other athletes from football and whatnot. And my idea is, I want to be able to help all athletes. Now, I do have to have some base of knowledge of each of these sports, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to have played every sport, whatever it is. Whenever I think about athletic development training, I'm thinking about athleticism. I'm thinking about preparation for every athlete, right? I want to be able to prepare you to undergo the stress and to have the movement efficiency or the movement competency and skill competency to be able to go out there and express whatever it is, football, baseball, soccer, whatever it is they're asking you to do, you should be able to express it to the best of your ability. And what I call that's athleticism, right? That's just purely athleticism. You always know that athlete can go out and do whatever the heck he wants because he has this tool chest of skills that he can just crack open whenever he needs them and go out there and do his thing, right? And that's athleticism, right? And whenever I consider athleticism, we got like 5 big components that a lot of literature talks about. There's more, right? There's what I consider the subcategories, but these categories here compose athleticism. So we got coordination, flexibility, endurance, speed, and strength. Now these 5, I try to make sure I touch in every session that I work with on the athlete. Now how I touch might be a little bit touch these categories in each session might be different, right? Based on the athlete and the sport, but they're going to be there. All these components are going to be there. So when I'm thinking about coordination, I'm thinking about movement efficiency. I'm also thinking a little bit about skill with the sport, right? So there's going to be some movements that the athlete's going to see a lot in the sport. A lot of the sport-specific skills, right? But there's also going to be a lot of movement efficiency, right? I'm going to teach you how to shuffle, right? We all kind of have this common lateral gait, as Lee Taft would call it, right? I'm gonna teach you how to cross over run. I'm gonna teach you how to backpedal. I'm gonna teach you how to sprint. I'm gonna teach you how to change direction, accelerate, decelerate, all that stuff. Whenever I'm thinking about, so those are skills, right? And I can put those into a lot of these categories here. I think this one kind of is all encompassing, right? Now, we also have flexibility. Now, flexibility is one of those touchy topics, right? This one you almost don't want to touch because everybody's going to have a different opinion on flexibility. Now, I would really like to consider, talk more about mobility, which is going to be one of those subcategories. And mobility, what that is going to be a combination of flexibility and strength, right? Or in my mind, flexibility and stability, right? So I got to have the strength to be able to anchor positions or anchor joints to have stability, and I have to have that stability to be able to express range of motion, right? Because if I don't have the strength stability to anchor one joint to be able to move the other joint, I'm just not going to be able to do the skill, right? So, we're going to have those components in there. There's going to be a little bit of static stretching somehow, some way for each athlete, if it's needed, right? But there's going to be some dynamic movement, whatever it is. We cover all of that. That's all done in the warm-up, right? And then of course we have the endurance part of our session. That's gonna be now. This one's a little bit tougher to touch on sometimes, right? Because trying to get all of this in now. Endurance may be one of those things right now I don't do a whole lot of with each athlete, but I do encourage them because we might only work to get together twice a week. If I had you another 2 days out of the week, one of those days or two of those days are probably gonna be conditioning day, right? Where you see a little bit more of our shuttle runs, whatever it is for your athlete, your sport. So we kind of touched on all that, and then here are the big ones, right? Speed and strength. Everybody loves to talk speed and strength, and whenever we're talking speed and strength, we got to consider how these are kind of intertwined with everything else, right? Because if I don't have the mobility, I can't really express speed or power, which power, of course, is speed and strength combined, right? Because power is the ability to express strength with time constraint. So here, I have to be able to have the mobility or the range of motion to express real power and speed. I also have to have the coordination. I have to be able to do the movements that make me a very efficient runner, right? Everybody can run, but we could all be a little bit more efficient, right? I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not very efficient. You ask me to swim, 500 with you, I'm gonna be lagging, right? So we got to kind of consider how this. We also have to have the force production abilities to have speed or to express speed, especially in the earlier parts of the race. And strength is, this multifaceted thing as well, where it has, muscular endurance, muscular power, all these other things that are all intertwined with all of this, right? Now here. Speed, endurance kind of plays. That's another one I be careful with, because when we start thinking endurance, people start thinking aerobic endurance a lot, and I'm like, man, unless you're an endurance athlete, I'm not gonna have you doing a whole lot of aerobic endurance stuff as far as like jogging and whatnot. So it kind of depends on sport and really the need, right? But endurance is kind of intertwined with speed, because now I got speed endurance going on, right? Whether that's long speed endurance, short speed endurance, whatever it is on that spectrum. Same thing here, I got strength endurance. That goes back to that muscular endurance, right? So if we can touch all of these inside of our training session in some form or fashion, we can really start to help to develop all the athlete. We don't need to start thinking just about power, right? Or just about mobility, right? If we can start to intertwine, think about how these things are all intertwined, and start to put them all into a session that kind of meshes really well together and touches all of these as needed for each athlete, it still has to be individualized, but we can really help to develop a total athlete. So that's kind of my rant today on athletic development training, what I am trying to do, what I'm trying to bring to people. So also with this coach's rant, man, 7 minutes, really long. Not trying to keep it that long for y'all, trying to bring it down, but kind of a big topic here. What I'll start to do is I'll start to talk about each of these topics a little bit more, so that y'all can start to understand a little bit more about how we can touch each of these topics with each training session, whether it's with the athlete, whether it's with one of our fitness clients, right? Because fitness clients need all of these. They need that mobility, they need flexibility, and that just kind of means quality of life for them. Whether they want to go out and be weekend warriors, whether they want to, train for, some event coming up, or whether they just want to feel better throughout the day, focusing on some of these things can really, really help, everybody. So, man, I hope this was informative. I hope it helps somebody. Tell me what y'all think about it. Tell me what you think about Coach's Rant. Maybe where I should take this thing. Like I said, I'm really just trying to improv and go off the top. So, like I said, hope it helped. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it's so long. I'm going to try to shorten these down some. Everybody have a great Sunday.